I think every forest has its own blaze of orange at sunset. The Khwai River has a cheat code on this because it flows east, always into the light. Out here, it's the only source of water for many miles, so it has a cheat code on the giants it harbors too. Some gentle, others far less so. And as one of its many overflowing channels, the Khwai River is our cheat code to the paradise that is the Okavango Delta. My name is Anurup, and I am a wildlife photographer. My friends and I spent a month in Botswana, and this is one of the many amazing stories from that epic adventure. I've been posting them on this channel, and if you're enjoying this series, please consider liking the video and sharing it with your friends. And when you subscribe to the channel, please hit the bell icon to get a notification every time I upload a new video. We're driving through some really beautiful patches of mapani trees. It looks like a long continuous stretch of mapani woodland, and every now and then we're seeing some wildlife. We've already seen elephants twice. We saw a honey badger once as well. We need to get to Khwai in good time so that we can do the afternoon drive, and we have a really great campsite at the Magotho Camp, which is right by the river. From whatever I've seen online, there's a lot of activity at that river itself. We're really tempted to pull out our cameras out of our bag right now because of how beautiful the drive is and the animals that we're encountering along the way. So yeah, hopefully some of this will be there at Khwai as well. We checked into Khwai Magotho Camp around noon. The camp is at the eastern end of the Khwai COmmunity Concession and close to the Chobi border. Most of the game viewing area is west of camp, driving along the Khwai River and the Mbudi channel. Early afternoon, we headed out. So we're into our first game drive. The Khwai River is to my left, and it's super green on this side, and to my right is a slightly dry habitat. Lots of dry trees, lots of dry shrubs, and the sun is setting in front right now, so our plan is to drive along the river for as long as we can and then turn back so that everything we see in our way is going to be in great light. First drive here, we know very little about what this place is to offer except for the fact that there's a river on one side, and as we drive up we're seeing a lot of hippos and a lot of elephants. Hopefully making some good shots of them on sort of the drive back here. The diversity of life along the river is outstanding. We've seen a large number of raptors, we've seen the petrelier eagles, we've seen the fishing eagles, we've seen a number of ospreys, large number of storks, large number of waders as well, and a large number of crocodiles as well, along with elephants, hippos in the water. So let's see what it is that we can find on the way back. Hopefully there'll be some good surprises when we turn around and start driving in this direction along the river. After driving west along the Khwai River, we turned back towards camp and stopped at a pond with a large number of hippos. Hippos are fiercely territorial animals, with dominant males establishing control over stretches of water with access to females in that stretch. Female hippos huddle together. Young bachelor males lounge with other bachelors and keep their distance. The territorial male is mostly by himself. This distinctive yawning is actually an aggressive threat display. Hippos open their massive mouths up to 150 degrees and show off their impressive tusks to assert dominance. This behavior becomes more pronounced during territorial disputes and when other males are close by. We later learned that this pond is known as the Hippo Pool and is very close to camp, maybe a couple of kilometers to its east.
Beautiful sunset to my right here, and we're able to see a large number of hippos. I think it's about time they start coming out, so we're just hoping that we're able to get out and get on to a place where if any of them were to come out, we're able to shoot them and we're able to make for an easy way for them to pass through if needed.
We spent many sunsets and sunrises at this pool, photographing hippos. As evening approaches, hippos begin their nightly exodus to terrestrial grazing grounds. While they huddle together during the day, grazing is a solitary activity, and they could travel up to 5 kilometers from the pond to feed. Though there's a pool called the Hippo Pool, we saw hippos all along the river every day. We even had some really rare encounters, like this large hippo grazing out in the open when it was quite sunny.
So we're seeing a hippo to our right. It's quite rare for hippos to be out this late in the morning. It's almost 7:10 now. Quite rare for hippos to be out this late. But there is one here, quite close to us, and he's gradually making his way to the water.
There's a reason hippos spend all their time in water. They don't have sweat glands. Their skin is sensitive and can crack in the sun. But it is when they're out in the open that I got a sense of their size. They are massive. The relationship between hippos and oxpeckers is mostly mutually symbiotic. These small birds are great at clinging onto the backs and bodies of large African mammals, with their beaks specially adapted for combing through fur or hide, and their toe structure modified for gripping animal hide at vertical angles. Oxpeckers help hippos by consuming ticks, flies, and other parasites that plague hippos. They can access areas that hippos can't reach, like ears, nostrils, and certain other unmentionables. There are rare occasions, however, when it is not mutually beneficial. I read a study about oxpeckers feeding on the blood and tissue around injuries. I had to see it to believe it, and well. But on the whole, oxpeckers are tolerated by hippos, possibly because they do more good than harm. I also learnt about the role hippos play in shaping the delta by creating hippo highways, which are pathways of cleared vegetation and compacted dirt thanks to their habitual movement. Adult male hippos can weigh up to 4,000 kilograms, and when groups of hippos use the same pathways every day, they create deep channels. So hippos aren't just residents of the delta, they're active architects of its structure. To explore a larger game viewing area, we had to cross the Mbudi channel to access the delta formed between Khwai and its channel called Mbudi.
So it's October, it's 2024, that much I know, but I have no clue what day it is and what date it is, except for the fact that it's our first morning at Khwai, and it is a beautiful sunrise. We are driving by the Khwai River. It will soon cut into another channel called the Mbodi channel, and we're looking to see if there is a easy place to cross the Mbodi channel and go to the other side. So we're at one of those places that the map is saying that we can cross over from, and the map wants us to drive through that one, and that does get us to the other side of the Mbodi River and opens up a lot more game viewing area for us. But at the moment we're not confident we can pull that off. Now this is the other crossing that the map is telling us to take, and you'll be able to see that it sort of crosses over to the other side as well. Much shorter than the earlier crossing, but seems deeper. Again, not something we'd like to risk without another vehicle around us.
So after waiting at 2 or 3 different places, all of which are marked on the map that I'll share, we finally got to the right crossing, thanks to the other vehicles around.
So I think we finally found the place where we can cross the Mbodi River. Sumit's vehicle's also on the other side, and this should be a fairly doable crossing. I wouldn't say easy. So we are attempting our first crossing. Let's see how this goes. Easier for me at the back, but Anil is the one driving.
And if there's one thing you should take away from our attempts at crossing, it should be to wait till there are more experienced cars and follow their path. Though we didn't know it then, we lost our registration plate during this crossing. This opened up a large, beautiful game viewing area for us, with enormous marshes and lagoons that had the Khwai River on one side and the Mbodi channel on the other. In the wet season, I think a significant chunk of this area would be submerged. This area was abundant with antelope. It was also one of the best habitats for the red lechwe, an antelope native to this region and a big lifer for me.
On the other side of the crossing is the carcass of an elephant, and I don't think it's more than a week old. It's not the most pleasant sight, and the stench is fairly overwhelming. I think that a carcass of this size should feed a large number of animals, but it's barely being eaten into, so I'm not sure if there are any scavengers, predators on this side. Before the vultures can open into an elephant carcass, they need maybe lions or hyenas or some of the other larger predators to sort of dig in a bit, and it doesn't look like anyone's interested in this, which makes me wonder why that's the case.
The river is also the only source of water in the dry season in the entire park, and all along its banks we saw elephants. They had 2 favorite drinking spots along the Khwai River, and on most evenings, we'd see large breeding herds come and go. Breeding herds with young calves do not stray too far away from the river. The herds would first spend their time in the river, getting their fill of water. Water time would mostly be followed by a dust bath. I saw some fascinating elephant behavior here. This mother was kicking dust from the ground and digging out roots for the calf and herself. I think this could be a combined foraging strategy, simultaneously accessing both mineral-rich riverbed sediments and underground plant resources like roots and tubers. This behavior shows the deep ecological knowledge passed down through elephant generations. The knowledge of these sites and the techniques to extract from the ground is transmitted from experienced matriarchs to younger elephants. This young calf, busy enjoying a snack at the moment, will hopefully ensure that this knowledge is passed on to future generations. We also saw some bachelor herds with large bulls, and boy, did they spend time in the water. They wash fresh green grass in water before consuming it, removing sand, dirt, and other insects that may be attached to the grass.
There's an elephant to my right, maybe about 20 feet away, in the water, and he is calmly going about feeding grass from the river. And it's so nice to see a large 1000 kg elephant gently wash mud from the grass in the water using his trunk before feeding. I mean, I could spend entire afternoons, memory cards and batteries just photographing elephants. It's one of the most pleasant, almost therapeutic scenes that I've seen.
A large bull could consume 200 kgs of vegetation per day. So that is a lot of grass and a lot of washing. The more I observed them closely, the more fascinated I was with how elephants use their trunks.
So we were driving along the edge of the river and we saw this huge bull elephant feeding. It's amazing to see them feed in the sense that they use their trunks exactly the way we use our hands to pluck something out of the ground. There's actually a lot of elephants all around us. There's one more walking this way towards us right now. And it'd be good to see if he comes closer.
And interestingly, game drives weren't the only place we saw elephants up close.
So we're in the campsite, and right behind me there is an elephant walking by. And this is quite a common feature in Khwai. We've been at Naipan. Elephants just walk through our camp. And there's probably one more right behind him. And this for me is very, very new. And it's great to see wild elephants, sometimes hippos, just walk through camp. And for context, this is our camp, just right behind me. There you have 2 elephants walking right behind me, and our campsite's right here. We were cooking lunch here just a few minutes ago. This is absolutely brilliant. also don't think you can make out how close they are given the width of the front camera on this phone, but they are really close, like 10 paces, and he's where I'm standing right now. What an experience this has been. I'm at the Khwai Magotho Camp. Our campsite's right here. It's a very beautiful campsite. We've spent 5 nights here. We have one more to go, and this is the most beautiful camp I've been at. There are large, mostly camel thorn, jackalberry trees all around me on one side. To the exact opposite side is the river, the Khwai River, and all night we can hear hippos. Every morning we see hippo and elephant footprints all over the place. We hear lions and hyena at night, and every now and then an elephant sort of casually strolls by the camp. So it's got some great features. In terms of specific amenities, our campsite's quite sparse. It basically had the space and the shade, and it's really nice and cool through the day because of the amount of shade it has. But we sort of made a sort of makeshift fire pit. Most other campsites have a braai stand and a fire pit, and I don't know which exact campsite we're in. I'll sort of put it in the details whenever I upload this. But there are broadly 2 groups of camps, one along the river and one more into the forest. There are various ablutions at many places. The ablutions are quite small, but the ablutions are actually quite far away from campsites. So you will notice that most people actually drive down a car and come to the ablution, except for us, and we've got the campsite closest to the ablution, which is why we're able to just walk back and forth, and that's a huge efficiency hack for us at this camp. Otherwise we'd have to drive our car down, which we didn't prefer. With 4 of us in 2 cars, I think it's better if we were closer here. But overall it's a fantastic campsite, and I'm definitely looking forward to coming back here sometime soon, because not only is it like really close to the water, like in 5 minutes of driving we're in a pool full of hippos, and just down the road here, I'm sure if I go down I'll see a large number of elephants drinking water. Apart from its absolute brilliant location, it's also very beautiful, and it's also one of the nicer campsites to spend time in during the day. Not that we've done too much of that, but I would strongly recommend this campsite for anyone looking to explore Khwai. So we got word from Sumit and Gayatri that there's something in the dead tree forest. The radio gave up. We just heard big, and we heard dead tree forest, and we don't even know their exact coordinates. So we are headed into the dead tree forest now to look for whatever that big thing is. Though it's really hard to drive in because of the really loose sand, the dead tree forest is a beautiful habitat. I've not seen anything like this before, and I keep imagining what it'll be like to see a leopard on one of these dead fallen branches. It'll be such a good shot to make.
The dead tree forest in Khwai is a spectacular landscape, and it's one of the most photogenic areas in the concession. This mysterious woodland consists primarily of dead camel thorn trees that stand like oversized skeletons. It was once a magnificent stand of camel thorn trees that fell victim to intensive elephant browsing and bark stripping, and this is what is left of it. As much as I hope for a leopard on one of these barks, or large elephants walking through these trees, all we saw during all our drives through the dead tree forest was a couple of giraffes at the far end of the dead tree forest. This is something I'll never understand about time in the wild. How do slow mornings watching hippos in a pool, slow evenings watching elephants in the river, and slower afternoons waiting for a leopard to wake up result in a week that goes by in the blink of an eye? Before we knew it, it was our last day at Khwai. We'd spent the last couple of days photographing leopards on the other side of the Mbudi. So on our last day, I wanted to stay back on our side and make the most of the river, while Sumit and Gayatri headed out for the leopard.
So it's been over an hour since we started driving, and not much in the way of sightings. We've seen one herd of impala, and now we're back to the river, and we're seeing a few hippos in the river, but that's pretty much it. We'll drive east along the river with the sun in our faces for a bit, and see if we can find something interesting, because the light is very good right now for any photos, and any photos we make in this light are going to be worthy of printing, but no subject.
After a couple of hours in the early morning light driving along the Khwai and the Mbudi, FOMO got the better of us.
So we're now headed towards the leopard that our friends are also at, and let's see what's happening there. Maybe the other leopards come back, maybe lions, or maybe just the leopard. Who knows? Should be interesting, because I remember a piece of meat falling down from the ground last evening. So there might be other animals who've come for it. So yeah, let's see what that holds for us.
But we didn't rush to a leopard sightings like we normally do. We somehow knew that the leopard would be there, and we even took a longer route, hoping to see something else along the way.
So we got back to the backup sighting that we had of the leopard, and there she is on the branch, chewing on a bone from the remaining kill. Says a lot about Khwai, doesn't it, when your backup sighting, when nothing else comes, is a leopard that just poses like this.
The leopard did what I think she does better than any other leopard I've seen: pose for the paparazzi. After chewing on the remains of that bone, she walked down the tree, only to pick up another bone and started working on it, out in the open. There's a course that leopards in India attend that speaks of elusiveness, hiding in the bush, and generally being hard to find. I don't think leopards in Africa are offered that elective.
Another good morning with a leopard. I've made so many shots of this leopard I could have a wall full of these leopard photos at home. She's now gone into the bush. We can't see her exactly. She's in that bush. She could go out for water, or she could rest there. Not much of the kill is left, so
Eventually, she walked into some shade and we said goodbye.
So we're on our way to the Khwai Mokoro station. Something I've been looking forward to. We only got time to do it on the last day here. I think they'll take us into the river in this small boat, and it's a very nice, intimate way to experience the river. So far we've only been seeing the river from the outside. Tomorrow we're going to Chobe, where we're going to have a boat ride as well. But I think a Mokoro is the traditional boat through which you can traverse even the sort of tiniest and the shallowest tributaries and the shallowest channels. I've read a lot about it online, and a lot of folks have said nice things about it. So let's see what we get on the Mokoro ride.
Like some years ago, we used to have the wooden one. Those ones that were chopped from different trees. Trees like a sausage tree. But due to conserve, we are conserving those trees because they are getting less and less here in the Delta. So that's why we did introducing this new modern one. Into this new modern one, there are two seats. inside there. Sometimes we do come across animals like hippo, elephants, and buffaloes on the way. So I'll advise you to listen to your guide instructions, right? Some of the grass that are very, very sharp, they might give you a cut in your finger, right? This green plant is called Salvinia molesta or Karibo weed. It was first founded at Lake Karibo, and then nowadays it's all over like the Okavango Delta. Remove the plant outside, but the plant is still around. Even animals, there's no animal can eat this plant. Just like I said, it's invasive. It's called Salvinia molesta or Karibo weed.
So we are currently in the Mbodi River, which is one of the northern parts of the Okavango Delta, and this is a great way to experience the delta overall. And this is a really intimate, immersive way to experience the delta. It's also really quiet at the moment. It's really peaceful.
The Mokoro ride was the most serene experience of my trip. This is the delta's perspective of the forest around it. It's the quietest way to experience the delta. And it was probably the stillness that brought us to one of the trip's most magical encounters.
So we had a very unexpected bonus sighting of a sable just as we were turning our boats around. We were trying to get closer to it and see if we are able to get a better shot. It's quite far away in the distance. I'm not sure I'll be able to show anything with the phone, but we're definitely trying to get close to it. It's a super shy antelope. Just as we entered, it scooted, which is what we expected, but happy that I got like one good shot of the sable.
As we headed back, we faced a roadblock.
An interesting roadblock ahead of us. There's a huge herd of buffalo, which is also there when we went one way, and now they're a little bit closer in the narrower channel, and we're just giving them the time they need to graze and quietly move away.
The quiet stillness that felt serene a few minutes ago was now tense. We waited 20 minutes, maybe more, for the buffaloes to let us pass. As we waited for the buffaloes to finish, I thought about the right of way. On foot, or in the fragile Mokoro, the right of way is for the animal to give. As we move into cars and 4x4s and motorboats, the right of way becomes ours to give. If there's one thing I'll take home from this moment, it's the vulnerability I felt as we waited for the buffaloes to make up their minds. I'll remember it every time I drive past an animal again. As we eased our way back, they stared. It would have taken them only a couple of strides and a few seconds to reach the boat if they wanted to. We drove back to the Khwai Community Concession for one last game drive. One last time along the river to see large elephant herds go about their evening ritual. one last time along the river into the most beautiful sunset I've seen. On our last evening, we didn't drive too far. We stayed by the river, close to camp, and watched hippos and elephants bathe in the glow of the setting sun. Chobe still lay ahead, but Chobe was comfortable, not the grind we'd lived here. At Khwai, our days began at 4 a.m. Make a large mug of coffee, swap fresh batteries into the camera, pack away the tent, and be at the river by 5. Return around noon to make lunch, wash dishes, and transfer images. A shower if there's time. Then leave again at 2:30 for the second game drive. On the best days, the days we live for, we were in the field for 14 hours straight. From sunrise to sunset, in the 40-degree heat and bone-dry air of Botswana. Some nights, I was too exhausted to even eat, let alone cook and clean up. I'd lie in my tent, wondering if I had it in me to do it again the next morning. But every morning, I woke up eager to get back to the river. This is something I'm grateful for, to have a pursuit that I care about so deeply and friends to share it with. I hope to return to Botswana soon. This is my last story from Botswana. Like the final bite of desert, saved for 10 months after we came home.